All right, hello there. Welcome to the channel. My name is James, and here at 20th and 21st Movies, we are about all things cinema. Hope you're doing well today. I am really excited to share with you my thoughts on a recent release from the Criterion Collection. This is Spine 1212, 1212 in the Criterion Collection, and it is from French-Senegalese documentary director Alice Diop in her feature film debut in this 2022 film, Saint Omer. Saint Omer. So this is a 2022 film from this wonderful French director, Alice Diop, that I am very excited to share my thoughts on this channel. This is another fascinating French courtroom drama, sort of following in the release from Criterion on an earlier this year release of Anatomy of a Fall, the Justine Triet film that stars Sandra Hüller. This time, I'm talking about Saint Omer from Alice Diop. So on the other side of this, we're going to get into it. I'm going to tell you what I think about this movie, what I think about how this looks on Blu-ray and how it sounds, and then also the special features and whether or not this is a title you ought to consider picking up. So, and I also want to hear what you think about this film as well. So let's get into it. All right, I'm back, and I'm really excited again to share my thoughts on this recent release from the Criterion Collection of Alice Diop's feature film debut, Saint Omer. So let me go ahead and get some information up here on the screen. We'll walk through it. We'll talk about this film. I definitely want to hear in the comments section what you think about this film, Saint Omer, if you've seen it. I can definitely tell you it is a very fascinating courtroom drama, and if you're interested in courtroom dramas like Anatomy of a Fall, American courtroom dramas, if you're interested in that type of a film where you get deep into, figuring out what happened in this case and learning about the defendant and about how the trial proceedings work, this is something you might want to consider. So let me go ahead and put some information up here on the screen. I'm looking at my MacBook down here, so I'm going to put it up here on the screen here. This is director Alice Diop. And of course, you see to the right, Alice Diop. And then you also see here on the left, the theatrical poster with the two leads that I'll get into in just a moment. Very nice theatrical poster with the two leads there, the two French women there that you see. And that little picture that you see below is Alice Diop accepting at the 79th Venice International Film Festival, the Silver Lion Grand Jury Prize Award. So this is a very prestigious award. This is like that second highest award at the Venice International Film Festival, right below the Golden Lion Award. So she received that in 2022 at the 79th Venice International Film Festival. So very prestigious award there. So that's director Alice Diop. Alice Diop is a documentary filmmaker. So she has done a number of documentaries over the years with Oui, La Permanence, and the one that's in the middle, the name is escaping me, so I'll have to put it up on the screen here. But she's done a number of documentaries, and so Saint Omer is her first jump into narrative feature filmmaking, and it is quite an impressive jump indeed. So these are some of the documentaries that she's done. I have not had a chance to see any of her documentaries yet, but I'm very much looking forward to checking them out. So let us know in the comments section if you've seen any of these documentaries. Have you seen Oui? Have you seen La Permanence? Let me know. Let us know in the comments. All right, the leads. Who are the leads in this film? You've got two primary leads here, the two women whose lives kind of intersect in a very interesting way in this film. This film, essentially, Saint Omer, is about a woman named Rama, played by Kayije Kagame. She is an academic. She is a novelist who, of course, does some teaching. She does writings. And she's learned about this situation, this case of this woman on trial, Lawrence Coley, played by Guslagie Malanda. She is on trial for basically leaving her 15-month-old girl on the beach to be washed away into the shore. And she's on trial for that. And so Rama is going from France. She lives in France with her husband, in Paris, France, excuse me. She lives in Paris with her husband, and she decides to travel north to the town of Saint Omer, which is in the very northern tip of France, to observe this trial. that Lawrence Coley is in. During this trial, she's learning about how this other woman who's on trial, her lives kind of intersect with one another, with her life, in the sense of she sees parallels between their lives, in the fact that, of course, Rama is 4 months pregnant herself, so she's about to have a baby. She is also in a mixed race marriage. She's married to a white man in France, as well as Guslagie and Malanda was in a relationship with a gentleman in France with whom she had her baby. And then also, both women had very complicated relationships with their mothers. So this is a film that's very much about motherhood and all of the intricacies of motherhood and the responsibilities of it and the complications that come along with it. So it's the ups and downs, the joys, the struggles, everything about motherhood is represented in this film, Saint Omer. And it's done in this very interesting courtroom setting where you learn more about Lawrence Coley, but also learn more about Rama as she observes this case, but then as she's out and about on the streets of Paris and the streets of Saint Omer. So that is essentially what Saint Omer is about. I'll read the back of the case here as well. It says, bringing a documentarian sense of open-ended inquiry to her first narrative feature, writer-director Alice Diop constructs a morally and emotionally layered courtroom drama unlike any other. When she travels to Saint Omer, France, to attend the trial of a young Senegalese woman, Guslagie Malanda, accused of murdering her infant daughter, novelist Rama, Kayije Kagame, finds herself shaken to the core by a case that proves to have profound resonances with her own life, interweaving complex themes of mother-daughter bonds, immigrant alienation, and post-colonial trauma into a piercing portrait of two mysteriously connected women. Diop forgoes mere questions of guilt and innocence in order to plumb the unsettling unknowability of the human soul. So that very beautifully encapsulates what this film is about. But these two leads here, played by these two wonderful actresses, do a fantastic job embodying these two characters, these two mothers, one a mother-to-be, but a mother with a complicated relationship with her mother, and this young woman who's on trial and realizing that there's a lot more to it than what would initially meet the eye, and just understanding a little bit more about the depths of their character is part of Saint Omer. Very fascinating stuff. Excellent supporting cast. Of course, in this courtroom, you have, a meeting of the minds between these two characters or these two actresses who are doing a great job playing the judge and one of the attorneys in this case here. You have, I'm going to look down here at my screen, excuse me. On the left, you have Valérie Drevin, who plays La Presidente du Tribunal. And on the right, you have Aurelia Petit, who plays Maître Vadounet. They do an amazing job in this film, questioning Lawrence Coley and trying to get out the correct information from her in order to adjudicate this very fascinating case and really understand why. And they ask her that at the beginning of the trial. And Lawrence Coley's answer is very interesting. She says, I don't know. I'm hoping that this trial will uncover that. So she herself is trying to better understand her own actions. And that, I thought, was a very powerful thing at the beginning of this film. But this cast is excellent. They do a great job. And really just the whole atmosphere of so much of the time of this film is spent in this trial. And you really get that interesting interplay between these characters. So you get some nice time in the courtroom, the back and forth between the questioning, getting those fascinating looks from Lawrence Coley, from Rama in the courtroom. You're seeing it largely from the perspective of Rama, who is the novelist, who is the academic coming to observe this trial. She's trying to get inspiration for her own adaptation of this story of Medea, the Greek tragedy. So this is, of course, Rama, the novelist and academic. This is her in a sort of a classroom setting, and then her on her way to the town of Saint Omer to see this trial. So that is a little bit of scenery there. And then, of course, the town of Saint Omer. Where is Saint Omer? Of course, in relation to Paris, where, as I'm recording this, the Paris Games are wrapping up as we speak. I believe that an Ethiopian gentleman won the men's marathon, so that was interesting. And I think the U.S. runner might have come in fourth or something like that. I'll have to double check the standings. But yeah, the Paris Games are wrapping up, and I'm hoping that men's basketball Team USA can bring home the gold, but we shall see. But yeah, this is Saint Omer. You see on the map to the right, you'll see that where Paris is, which is sort of in northern France, and to the far north of that, almost as far as you can go north in France, is where Saint Omer is, where that red spear is, and pictured on the left. So that's the town where this trial is taking place, and it's not too far from the UK. So interesting, not too far from the UK there. So that's very interesting. So this again is the trial of Lawrence Coley. And you see here Guslagie here pictured on the top left, and you see her being questioned by the judge. And in this trial, the way it works, you have to stand and answer these questions. And so seeing the stoic looks on her face, the stoic looks of Rama during this trial are very, very interesting, piercing, and engaging, as you really can understand the depth and the seriousness of the proceedings, the questions that she's being asked, her answers, as she is trying to understand herself better. They're trying to understand why she did what she did. And it's just a very fascinating scene. Rama is soaking it in and understanding this trial. As she learns more about Lawrence Coley, she's learning more about herself and about her responsibility as a mother-to-be and her responsibility in cultivating a better relationship with her own mother. Of course, Lawrence Coley's mother is in attendance in this trial as well, and there's a connection there between Rama and Lawrence Coley's mother. So this movie is really big on the theme of motherhood and the responsibilities of motherhood and the bonds between a mother and a daughter. And this trial does a beautiful job of sort of bringing all of those elements to bear. Very powerful movie. And then life after the trial. So I really like the way that this film, I like what it does with the conclusion of this trial. I'm not going to spoil it. I'll just say that it's worth seeing and worth understanding what the director's doing here, because I really like the decision that was made in terms of the way it was left and the portrayal of life after the trial for Rama. So I really like that. I do want to hear from those of you who have seen this movie. I would love for you to tell me what you think about it without spoiling it for others in the comments. All right, so you may gather that I think this is a really good film. I think if you like courtroom dramas, I would say this is definitely a recommendation. If you like films like Anatomy of a Fall, this film by Justine Triet starring Sandra Euler, which is one of my favorites of the year so far, Saint Omer is right up there with it. I think these two films would make for a wonderful double feature. If you want, hey, I love a good courtroom drama, pick up these two films. No-brainer material right there. But this is highly recommended. It is a fantastic film. There's a reason that it won that Silver Lion at the Venice International Film Festival. It's a wonderful film. And of course, Anatomy of a Fall is also great. I think Criterion has knocked it out of the park releasing these two films. So I give them high praise for releasing these two amazing films from two amazing French women directors this year. So bravo to Criterion. This is an amazing film, and I definitely think it is worth seeing if you like courtroom dramas. If you're interested in international cinema, then I can definitely recommend it. If you're not interested in courtroom dramas, if you're not interested in international films, you don't want to read subtitles, then maybe it's a pass. But if you are interested in that type of thing, this is definitely worth checking out. So as far as the supplements, I think the supplements include some really nice interviews with Diop. You'll see on the back here that you have new and archival interviews with director Alice Diop. There's like 3 interviews with her, one from 2023, one from 2022. She has a nice an audio conversation with her and Dee Rees from an episode of The Director's Cut, a DGA podcast. So that was nice. You also have a very nice conversation between Diop and author Helene Frappet, which is an hour-long conversation that is very good. Definitely worth listening to. That conversation and the interviews with Diop are all in French. The conversation between Diop and filmmaker Dee Rees is in English. So fantastic, fantastic supplements. Those supplements do a really nice job of you're hearing directly from Alice Diop about her inspiration for this film. This film was inspired by a true story, actually. It's a true story of a French-Senegalese woman named Fabienne Kabou, who in 2013 on the Berck-sur-Mer beach left her 15-month-old daughter there and basically gave her daughter to the sea. And in that particular trial, she was found guilty and convicted, and she was sentenced to 20 years in prison. That was back in 2013 when she did it. And in 2016, she was convicted of the crime, I believe, and sentenced to 20 years. So that served as the inspiration for Alice Diop to do this film, Saint Omer. So I thought that was really interesting. This is really a fascinating film. It's a great masterclass in understated yet powerful filmmaking. Claire Mathon was the cinematographer, and she did a wonderful job lensing this picture. So I give her a ton of credit. And as far as how this picture looks on Blu-ray, this is a Blu-ray. It's a new 2K digital master with 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack. So this is a fantastic looking picture on Blu-ray, which is to be expected of a new film, shot digitally, looks great. And the 5.1 audio sounds fantastic. There's a lot of dialogue in this film, as you can expect from a courtroom drama, and it all comes across very clearly. Of course, you have the subtitles. I don't speak French, so I had to sort of read in order to understand what they were saying, but you can certainly hear everything very, very well, not only in the courtroom, but also in the cityscapes of Paris and Saint Omer. Everything came across very nice and clean. The dialogue with Rama back in her home in Paris, as well as on the streets of Paris and the streets of Omer, Saint Omer. Everything came across beautifully from an audio standpoint. So presentation strong as to be expected. Of course, on the inside here, you have this wonderful, you have this presentation here on the inside. This is, of course, the book. This is the disc. And you have this wonderful essay, Shades of Motherhood by Jennifer Kagame, which is a great essay that I highly recommend reading, that talks about the motherhood theme of this film, how powerful this film is. When you pull the disc out, you'll see Kagame's character here in deep thought, meditation, rest, what have you. This is a very contemplative film. It's a deep thinking film. It's a film that deals with some pretty heavy themes, and that really shows through in the narrative of this film. But this film, Saint Omer, is highly recommended. I definitely recommend it again if you're interested in courtroom dramas, if you're interested in like French cinema, international cinema, if you're interested in learning about a different filmmaker. I think Alice Diop has a voice in filmmaking that is worth listening to. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on the film from Alice Diop, the French-Senegalese director who has given us Saint Omer. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. Let me know what other films in the Criterion Collection you've been watching lately. And if you have seen this film, definitely drop a comment in the comment section. And just let us know what else you are watching in the world of Criterion and physical media. Let us know all that in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time at the movies. Peace.